Hello everyone! Welcome to the stream! It is time for Ace Attorney! Oh, I'm not AFK anymore, I am here. Who's ready for some gaming? We're gonna be continuing our Ace Attorney journey! Ace Attorney journey! Wow, that sounds great. Is this the correct volume? Is it too loud or too quiet? I don't know. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream! I'm oblivious. We shall proceed with what we have been doing. We are continuing the last case of the first game in the series. Let's go! Hello, Matthew. Welcome to the stream. I hope you've been having a wonderful day. It's April now. It's birthday month. How exciting! How exciting! Birthday month. Oh, wait, this is a little bit off centered. Hold on, let me move it over a bit so it's not off centered. Uh-oh, and that one's also not lined up very well, is it? There. Here, let's put it here. This'll work. That's fine. You also have an April birthday. More and more April birthdays. There's so many people that have April birthdays. We're gonna have a special celebration for such a thing. April boy! Woo! More the merrier! It's been a while since I've seen this picture. Let's go! This is the defendant's lobby, alright. But there's no defendant. Wait, what is happening again? I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? Where's Emma for that matter? It almost seems as if something's been happening behind the scenes. See. That's worse! Who's talking? Knowing you've already figured it out. Who the owner of the 7777777 ID number is, that is. Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. It's only a hunch, though. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out. Is the volume okay? I want to make sure that the volume is okay with everything so I can hear well. You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday, because there was still room for doubt regarding this ID card. ID record! Wait, hold on a second, I need to check something. Okay. It's all good, it's all good. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything. True, not yet. In the event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling. 5 minutes, right? And Chief Prosecutor Sky will be found guilty. But she didn't do it! I figured you'd say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say. This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her. The truth? Everything goes back to the SO9 incident. Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past. That depends on you. What did you say to me, boy? If she is found guilty, you'll lose your only chance to find out what really happened. Think about it. See you in court, right? Bye! I'll see you as well! This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. Welcome back to court, everyone! It is now in session for a trial of Miss Lana Sky! Defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement! Oh, before that, the police chief has a proposal to make. Chief Gant? Morning, folks! How's everyone doing? Hey, Itchy, been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work. Oh, that's a good one! Don't think I can top that. You don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Lana? That is to say, the defendant has asked me if she could speak directly to the court. She wants to do what? Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of time and trouble. What's this all about, defendant? I'd like to make one simple request and I'll be finished. Well then, what's your request? Your Honor, I'd like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. No, Lana! Lana! What is behind her hand? Her back? What? Why is her hand... Oh. Her hand... She's holding something behind her back. What? Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services. But Lana! Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. Request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise. This can't be happening. It appears the time for the verdict has arrived, and this court finds the defendant... Objection! Why did the judge take so long to deliver his verdict? He's just like waiting for someone to object. One moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth! The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant's guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Come now, Worthy. I understand this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a good little boy and keep your mouth shut, I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gant. What? Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistake. Sorry, but I'm no longer the naive little boy you would have me be. With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal is struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. Thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness. Oh, to whom? As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Sky. I request the court hears her testimony. Hold it! Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to I don't care what you think, Miss Sky. Huh. Exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it. Emma! Very well, the court shall grant the prosecution's request. That's okay with you, right, Chief Gant? Worthy. You'll live to regret this. Mark my word. Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand. Like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins. Good luck, Emma! Now the witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma. I'm a Sky. My occupation? I'm Lana's little sister and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark of the Joe Dark killings. Is this correct? Yes. I'm trying my hardest to forget about that, though. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time. Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. Is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago really all that relevant? Yes, most certainly is. Well, okay then. He sure gave it fast. Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago. Trip to yesteryear. The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Two years ago. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest. It's a good thing you weren't harmed. I passed out. I don't remember much. That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder? That will soon become apparent, Your Honor. Got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. 2 years ago. Alright, let's talk now! 2 years ago, the defendant was a detective at the police department, correct? Yes, she was second command under under then the deputy chief of police Gant. My sister, she was the best detective ever. Yes, I remember. Deputy Chief Gant and Miss Sky used to be quite the pair. I believe they shared the same office. That's right. I'd always sit at my sister's desk and dream about playing that organ. I wanted to play it that day too. The police department and the prosecutor's office held a ceremony that day. Anna promised to take me to dinner after she finished her work. A man came running in and took me hostage. Man? Yes, Joe Dark. He was a serial killer. Joe Dark was brought in for questioning on the day of the ceremony. We were desperate to get anything on him that would lead to an arrest. When he saw his chance, he fled the room, right? Upon leaving the room, Dark proceeded to take the elevator. He must have been in a panic because the elevator was going up. Then he ran into Sky in Gant's office. There was a lot of noise coming from outside, so I opened up the door to have a look. That's when I saw him. Neil Marshall rescued me. Hold it! What was the prosecutor doing there? That day, there were 2 people present during Dark's questioning. Deputy Chief Damon Gant and Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Almost forgot about Gant. What? He was literally right there! What? Neil Marshall had just received the King of Prosecutors award. Young and dedicated, he went straight to the questioning room after the ceremony. I assumed that would also be why he was the first to run after Dark. When Dark grabbed me, I thought I was as good as dead. And that's when Prosecutor Marshall came running in. I don't clearly remember what happened then, but I'll never forget what I saw in that instant. Hold it! Can you tell us about that? Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark, just then lights went out. The lights? It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on and lightning struck nearby. So the electricity went out. Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right? right? But just then, lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind.
I see.
I told the detective about what I saw then. Detective? Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case. Detective Bruce Goodman, the victim. Hear more! So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago? Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial.
You told Detective Goodman about what you saw?
Yes, but at the time, the words just wouldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
Picture?
Yes, I think she mentioned that before.
Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough?
Ask about the picture. This picture the witness drew. I believe it has a very important meaning.
Objection! The list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture. Witness, would you mind if we added this statement to your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. I drew a picture of that scene once, but it seems to have been lost.
Hold it! You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right?
Yes, I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes.
That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died, yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken.
But I did draw it, I swear. I'm not just imagining it.
This picture that Emma drew, that reminds me. Guess I should check the evidence again. I already know about it! I just want to hear everything! Well, anyway, let's continue. This scene that imprinted an image in your mind. Can you please describe it to us?
The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest.
That must have been a real shock.
Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still see it just as clearly.
Tell us, what were you doing at that moment? I believe you testified that Joe Dark was holding you hostage.
When lightning struck and the lights went out, Mr. Marshall jumped on Dark. It was thrown aside and the two began wrestling each other. I'm pretty sure I was watching them.
Emma doesn't have any reason to lie. Lana sure does.
Need to get Emma to tell me as much about this as she can. Alright, time to present the picture! It isn't lost!
Wait, go this. I guess it doesn't matter.
Not that one. Wait, where is it? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Okay.
Objection! That's easy. Mr. Edgeworth. This little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. Yeah, you would insist on denying its existence? Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy. All I'm saying is that, as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture.
That may well be.
That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Hold! Marp. This is the evidence list for the SL9 incident?
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over? Oh! What's this? Yes, what is that?
Hey, that's it! That's the picture I drew!
Indeed, two men appear to be wrestling here. Objection! What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list?
E.
Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list.
Yep.
Oh? These lists, they're different from each other.
What?
It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here where they were torn apart from each other.
So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened.
Burb.
2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you.
What? What? Order! Order! But, Miss Sky, why did you draw your picture on the back of such an important list?
Because that's what Detective Goodman handed me in the questioning room, Your Honor.
Wait a minute.
This list was torn in half, and that means... Your Honor!
Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head.
If the evidence list was torn in half, there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
Yes, that's quite conceivable, Mr. Edgeworth.
Possible. Let's see.
Is something wrong?
You even have to ask.
Sorry, Your Honor. There is indeed something drawn on the back of my list.
That
Thing!
Yay!
That's that thing! That thing that was dancing in the evidence room! Clearly, this act of vandalism is the work of a certain chief of detectives.
Guess he was out of scrap paper.
Very well. Witness, will you please testify about this picture you drew 2 years ago?
Huh? Oh, yes, sir, Your Honor. What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she was looking at the picture. Emma's picture. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. The picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
I think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind.
Thanks to that, it was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about to murder Prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
What VTuber? I don't know no VTuber. You're just imagining things, Jamie. This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. The flash of lightning was so bright, so all I could see were shadows. After that, I must have fainted. Okay. Did you draw this picture right after the incident? I think I drew it 2 or 3 days later. At first, I was in such a state of shock that I couldn't do anything.
During that time, the investigation team was reorganized. Detective Goodman was placed in charge, under the direction of Damon Gant and Lana Sky.
2 or 3 days later. The memory should still have been fresh in her mind.
Excuse me, witness. But could you please tell us why this picture is painted all black?
Flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were shadows.
So at the...
Oh wait, so at the time you didn't even know it was Mr. Marshall that came to your rescue? No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright, and I was knocked to the floor.
You were knocked to the floor?
Dark had a tight grip on me, but when Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around, and that's when the lightning flashed. Flashed! Poor Emma. Just glad she wasn't hurt.
What happened after the lightning flash?
After that, I must have fainted. That's it! That's the end of the story! She fainted, that's it! You mean you didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry.
Objection! The flash of lightning only drove off the darkness for a split second. Not only that, but the trauma of the situation understandably caused the witness to faint. We really need to torture this girl any further. She was the murderer! What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. What if she was the murderer?
Anyway, this picture shows exactly what I saw in that instant.
Hold it!
sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw? Of course, this is the exact scene. It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives?
Objection! Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright?
No, of course not. You'd better watch out or he might find some way to cut my salary. I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives. No, I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me.
Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture?
Huh? Oh, well... That's strange. Sometimes this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in your mind. And yet... It's clearly a contradiction here. Yay! What's up, compassion? What's going on? It's clearly a contradiction here. Did you guys see it? I'm not really. Wait, hold on. Let me save. What could it possibly be? Objection! What? What's going on, Tori? What? Objection! What? You're at work by yourself, so you'll be vibing. Nice. All right. So one guy is down here, one guy's up here. I'm wondering if this is the key to all this. It is flat. You finally made an Ace Attorney stream! You really did! Thanks for stopping by! You made it! I wonder if I could use this. Not sure. No, it's not that. Okay. Load. Oh, no, not that one. This one. What would be the contradiction? What would be the contradiction? For you see, Mr. Phoenix, right? It was I who made you skip every single previous Ace Attorney. Aha. The attorney's badge. It was the attorney's badge! Yeah, this music is great! I don't know what to use though for this. What should I do? Wait a second. Okay, no, that doesn't work. Okay, no. Okay, so it's not that one. Which one? Any ideas? Any ideas what it is? It was the attorney's badge in the courtroom with the objection. Guilty, I think. Wait, who's guilty? Who are you saying is guilty? Which proves that he is indeed a lawyer. I tried to help if you knew what was going on. We're actually looking back at an old witness scene. Everyone's guilty! We're looking back at the old SL9 case, which is somehow tied into the current case, which is we're not really talking about right now. But, so yeah, we're talking about an event in the past. Emma Sky which is her right here, was a key witness because she was actually held hostage in that situation, and she is retelling the events of her experience during that happening. And supposedly one of these two are Neil Marshall, which is the brother of a different guy in the police department. Well, he used to be in the police department until he got fired. But who saved Emma from being held hostage. And then the other guy is a serial killer, Joe Dark. That's about as much as I can say, because I don't really know what else there is. Oh, and this was inside the chief prosecutor's office. I think, and the chief prosecutor is this guy here on the left, and this is the old marsh. I do remember where in the game I am. I'm at like the very end. I'm at the very end of the first game. Yeah. You watched the YouTube series? I did too! I don't remember most of it though, because it's been a while since. It's big brain time. What could it be? Oh no, this is unrelated, I think. RT Games play. I think I watched that one too. Or wait. Though I only remember, no, maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure, but I remember watching a silent playthrough, so it was just the game and the story, and no commentary or anything. I don't know. I'm trying to. What could I possibly present? Yeah, this drawing is what she saw. Maybe I could do this? No! You say maybe it's the wrong hand, but what does that have to do with? What does that have to do with it? I'm just confused, because this is not shaded in, but it's like a square. It's not a knife. I don't really know what else to comment on. What's that? By the time you didn't even know who it was Mr. Marshall who had come to your rescue? No, I couldn't see him clearly. The lightning was so bright and I was knocked to the floor. We're knocked to the floor. Dark had a tight grip on me. When Mr. Marshall jumped on him, I was knocked away. I turned around. That's when the lightning flashed. Supposedly the one on the right is Marshall? Or Emma? I'm glad it wasn't her. What happened after lightning flash? You didn't see the actual murder take place? No, I'm sorry. Objection! The flash of lightning only drove the darkness off. For a split second, not only that, drama. What? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here! Make sure you drink water! Oh yeah, let's drink some water! Ah! Okay, drink the water. That's strange. She claims that this is exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind, and yet there's clearly a contradiction. Where? Where's the clear contradiction? Mr. Edgeworth eventually becomes a really cool character. I don't know if he has yet here. It really depends on your definition of cool. Could be that even the part where you think he's cool, he might not actually be that cool. There's clearly a contradiction here. What's the contradiction? This one! The knife tip! I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction. What? I still remember it like it was remember it just like it was yesterday. Yes, the autopsy! I didn't even realize I had that.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us.
Yes, but the human brain can and does fail, indeed. Just like it was what? February, what? Like it was huh?
What part of this picture contradicts the autopsy report?
This one! Take that! Contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding. Look closely, you can see its tip is broken.
Even I don't have to look closely to see that, Mr. Wright.
But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too.
I recall. The tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body.
It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma. Objection!
Yesterday was March. Wait, what? I'm so confused. Yesterday was March, yeah. What, huh? The blue moon of the raspberry gloves clearly indicates that the bottle of controllers led to the sharpness of the bread! Oh man, that's pretty hard stuff to contradict.
Where, pray tell, could you possibly see a problem?
It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. You say March does not exist, but my February didn't exist. My entire February just was gone. Completely gone. That was an awful time. My March was also pretty gone too, I guess, but February was even more gone for me.
Victim was only stabbed once. Then the murder weapon should not yet be broken.
Yeah, who's February?
Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand.
Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there. Objection! Objection!
What? That's right, what does it mean? Objection! The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken.
I know March Weather sucks, so how rude to say it never existed. Objection! It's like a tennis card! Objection! That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. We were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly.
But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency.
Objection!
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There's another explanation.
Have you forgotten already?
About a little something called falsified evidence. You're treading on thin ice, right?
Sorry. All I'm saying is that this broken knife tip might be the piece of evidence that was forged. Can't deny the possibility.
No.
Ah!
Order! 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 Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted?
Your Honor, please allow me once again to go over the events that took place the day of the murder. Happy birthday month, Borb! Thank you, nerd! Happy Borb Day to you too! You ready to be soccer? It's your birthday month too! It's also Matthew's birthday month! It's also Bug Bro's birthday month! There are a lot of April birthdays this month. SB's birthday as well inside the Discord server. Best birthday month ever! We are the Borb. You will be assimilated. Yes, indeed. Burb! Exclamation mark Borb! What a chaotic courtroom! It should be more chaotic than it already is. We need more action! The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. At After receiving the King of Prosecutors award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with David Gant. Don't let all these burbs in the courtroom! Order in the court! No, there will be no order. We are the burbs. There can only be burbs. You will be assimilated. It's kind of like infection. Like, you get one burb, the burb attacks and defeats one person, and then that person turns into a burb, and then now there are two burbs. And then it keeps going. Like infection. Section of devastating foul. Oh, good nerd. Go away. You're not invited. You're not invited, nerd. This burb has been declared guilty. There are no guilty burbs. We define the law. For you see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, it was I who led the burbs into the courtroom. Joe left the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and killed him. So many burbs. It is my belief that somewhere in the story there's a lie. I'm not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife. That's true. There's no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murderer. Jory! You should look in the UIP section of the channel. Look at the UIP section. I wrote something about you. It must have been another broken knife. What are the chances of there being two broken knives? Another broken knife besides Joe Dark. There have been one. There is another one! The witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw. It can't just be explained away by simple observational error. Yeah, on Twitch. Holding up a broken knife, so that means it was broken before you killed him. Yeah, and that's what we brought up as the contradiction for that picture. Because it's supposedly he died from that knife, yet he in the autopsy report. In the autopsy report. Sorry, I'm laughing what nerd said. In the autopsy report, it said that he was only stabbed once, and yet the broken knife tip that was in the autopsy report inside Neil Marshall was, you know, it's already in him, and yet the knife tip was already broken off in the picture. So, contradiction. You don't see anything in the UVIP section? A stab in the back is not enough to kill someone. But there was only one stab wound. Or is it? Or is he only died? Wait, let me check it again. Clearly it's not your story, Tony. I'll let you figure it out for yourself, Tori. Single stab wound, piercing heart and lung. I'll let you figure it out, Tori. I'm glad at least someone understands. At least someone gets it. Okay, Mr. Wright. Bad instincts. Emma really did see a broken knife. I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife? If so, please feel free to enlighten us. The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon. What? What's the real murder weapon? This one! This is the real murder weapon! Maybe you're both, Thor. Just kidding. No, you're not gullible. Find the pencil! What a V in pencil. Look at this thing. Isn't that interesting? It's very sharp. I would not want to touch it. The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture.
This is the picture of the ward, sir.
Oh! Wait, no, wait, I was voicing the judge. This is the picture. Yes, I was totally under it.
This is the picture of the ward ceremony.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Okay.
Oh, no, wait. No. Okay. Wait, hold on a second. Wait, is the knife... So the broken tip is the thing... is the spear, right? It's okay, Tori. It's okay, Tori. I'm pretty sure I actually wrote it twice. Wrote it in 2 different locations, right? I wrote it in 2 different locations? Oh yeah, I did write it in 2 different locations. Wait, hold on. Where is it? Oh yeah, okay. It's also written in... You'll get another clue. I'll give you more clues. Another clue is in the rules section. Your parents did just convince you that the ACOA was going to come by 6:30 AM and look at the vent inside your closet as an April Fool's joke. So... Oh, Tori! Aww. Oh. Okay, yeah, there. I give you another clue, okay, Tori? Your clue is in the rules section. You'll probably be able to figure it out once you compare the clues. It's okay, Tori. Alright.
Broken murder weapon.
Notice you. What? What? Hold on a second. The murder weapon was the trophy? I thought the murder weapon was the spear, because the spear looked at... Was there even a spear when we went into the room? I don't know. Was it really that thing that was the weapon? That's a broken knife. It's a sword! As we earlier concluded, the knife in the drawing was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood from this award. No, the spear I was pointing at was part of that suit of armor, but there is also the broken tip of the sword on that prosecutor's trophy. Oh, Joe. Isn't all this just speculation right now? We'll have to get more in depth to how to prove it. Order! Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. Sorry. As an award, he was given this broken shield at night. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation. You're not too gory. That can't be. I don't know, it gets pretty gory when you're out there playing Overwatch. Oh, why not, Mr. Edgeworth? Because if the King of Prosecutors' award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed. No, not that, Tori! It's the other way around! Yeah, funny stories of your sister ending up breaking herself on April Fools a lot. What? Breaking herself? Huh? Got herself stuck in a closet with a bed and something. What? How did that happen? Huh? How did that happen? What do you mean? This man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh. But the prosecutor was the one who actually died. That's true. What's going on here? It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions. Hold it! Hold it! Wait! I remember now! I remember everything! She thought it'd be funny to hide his sister's bed in the closet, but ended up getting it stuck against the door. Oh no! That's so sad! Wait, that reminds me of let me tell you guys a story, okay? I don't remember how long ago it was, but there was a tornado that passed by. I don't know how many years ago it was, but there was a tornado that passed by near our neighborhood one year. And we all went to the basement. Then we couldn't get out of the basement. Cause the door was locked. That was back when we still had a lock on our basement door, but we don't have a lock on our basement door anymore. But yes, we got trapped in our basement for some time, and my mom had to call her brother, our uncle, to help us get out of the basement. But it was like, I'm just kind of confused though, because it was kind of weird that she asked for help while there was still a lot of wind and stuff going on. Like, we could have stayed in the basement a bit longer, but our uncle did come over not too long after the tornado, and it was still like super windy and all that, so his car ended up getting a tire punctured by a loose nail from driving over to our house. So yeah, that's a story. We got locked in our basement on accident. And we actually put like a thing over our doorknob for the time before we got our doorknob changed, so that we don't lock the basement door. There probably are Ace Attorney speedruns. There's pretty much every year led you on some fake news or something like the AC guy looking crazy. Typically pull a couple pranks a year, but then prepare this year. Both your sister and mom beg you to not break it this year. Your dad would tell you. Aw, man. Yeah, they're probably Ace Attorney speedruns. You know, I don't usually care much for April Fools, because it's like, like why? Yeah. It also becomes like a bit of a bother. I'll move this over. There. Yeah, you guys can still see the fabulous eyeball in the back. Oh, where to put it? Okay. Take this. There. You like April Fool's? Pretty funny. You only do harmless, light-hearted pranks, but you didn't think of any or prepare any this year. I think I just don't like pranks in general. I don't really care for them. It's kind of more like annoying. Yeah, I don't really do pranks. If it is April Fool's, I kind of just want. I'm fine with just like silly things. Not really a prank, but just silly things that aren't like making anyone feel bad for a moment. Because even, like, if I don't want to get pranked, then I won't prank others either. You know? That's how I feel about it. Never cared for April Fools either. I don't like pranks, especially to hurt people. Yeah. Yeah, I just like little silly things. Just silly things, honestly. You can have fun with it. That would be nice. I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want to hurt anyone, even if it's for a moment. Unless it's like just, yeah, if it's just completely lighthearted and no one feels badly at all at any point, then, you know, it's fine. Lighthearted silliness is good, yeah.
Witness?
Mr. Edgeworth.
What is it?
Could you show me your evidence list again, please?
This list? The one with a picture scribbled on the back?
The badger. Knew it. This picture. I'm the one who drew it.
What? You drew that?
That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. I locked the blue badger away deep down inside me because it was so dark. The Blue Badger is dark. The dark backstory. Emma is officially the designer of the Blue Badger, everyone. Does Emma get to have copyright claim on the Blue Badger? Her design was stolen.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you recalled, Miss Sky?
Yes, Your Honor. First the knife mix-up, and now the Blue Badger? Should be interesting. The circus level. Yeah, I remember getting stuck on that one when I had the actual game. When I played the actual game on the DS. I saw that man raise his knife. I panicked and rushed toward both of them. What? She rushed toward them? I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then, there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the Blue Badger. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
I'm pretty sure I saw the Blue Badger in the side. Just watching and watching you.
That's why the Blue Badger's eyes are so soulless and wide. Empty. Because it's staring at you.
This is certainly most unusual. Objection! Try impossible! The Chief of Detectives hadn't even designed him until this year.
That wouldn't mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, the defense may... No,
stop! Please! Please! Don't pursue this any further. Lana?
What's the meaning of this? Please remain seated in the defendant's chair.
But you can't do this. I've already confessed to the crime. Why can't you just leave it at that?
Chief Prosecutor Sky. We've already come this far. It's too late to turn back. Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant.
It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter. Emma's recollection. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed toward both of them. Hold it! Why would you do something so dangerous? What else could I have done? He was about to stab Mr. Marshall. He seems convinced that Dark was the one holding the knife.
But as we've just theorized, Mr. Marshall was the one holding the knife.
Well, I didn't know that at the time. When that Dark guy knocked me down, all I could think was, I gotta help that other person. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Oh, I'm seeing what's going on here now. I see why she's so overprotective. See why Lana's being so overprotective about this right now. Are you guys catching on? What do you mean, you think? It all happened so fast, and I was in shock. I don't remember everything clearly. What I did. It's all kind of a blur. Yeah, Lana and Emma are sisters.
Miss Sky was almost killed before she was witness to a murder about to take place. So much happening in a matter of seconds, a little disorientation is only natural.
I saw the man about to stab the other person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. The thing here is, so that you understand the current case, not the SL9 incident that we're currently talking about in the game right now, but the current case with the death of Goodman, where Lana Sky, Emma's older sister, who is just trying to stop the trial, trying to prevent them from continuing with talking about this SL9 case. Lana is actually, so you heard, she's the defendant. She's the one that she is trying to take a guilty verdict for killing Detective Goodman. And there's a reason behind that. For some reason, she's trying to stop this line of questioning. Doesn't want it to change from what it is, even though the conclusion of the SL9 incident was completely, well, not completely, but there was some falsified evidence. and she's trying to keep it that way. And we're gonna see about that. And since the present day case and the SL9 incident cases are connected somehow, Lana is trying to do something for some reason. And yes, Lana and Emma are sisters. I saw the man about to stab the other person who I thought was Mr. Marshall. I knew I had to stop the man with a knife.
What you did was very brave, young girl. So then what happened next?
Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. Are you sure about this? Of course, see? I even drew a picture of him here.
But it was the chief of detectives who thought of this hideous beast. that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. It's all quite verifiable.
You know, it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere. Oh, I finally remember!
Oh, brother, just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion. Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing?
He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow. Blue Badger didn't even exist. Someone who...
Okay.
His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face with its winning smile and all? That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns.
Objection! This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago.
Witness must be... I try not to laugh because... I thought of a pun and I don't want to say it. It has to do with death and evidence for right. I don't know. We'll see. No, sorry, I won't.
Witness must be mistaken.
That may well be. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did.
Oh,
and I suppose you have an explanation.
So, then by all means, tell us what this shadow really was.
What was it that Emma saw when that lightning flashed? Who's this blue badger really? Let's check the court record. Okay. Let's save here. Just in case my thinking is actually incorrect. Because I want a perfect score! Blue Badger hadn't even been dreamt up when Emma drew this picture, yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the Blue Badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room. Mr. Wright!
This room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instant? He shows the mysterious Blue Badger look-alike.
I might be wrong, but I feel like it's this. Mysterious Blue Badger was in fact this.
What exactly is that?
This jar is the Blue Badger! I believe it's some kind of jar. Oh, Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the Blue Badger.
Indeed it doesn't. As it stands now, it's just a plain jar.
However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint?
I have to show them the correct angle to look at this from. It's so silly like it. For you see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, it was I who planted the Blue Badger at the scene of the crime. This looks so weird!
Well, is this a miracle or what?
Wow, it's so good! No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger. Oh. Can't be! He really doesn't like this blue badger, does he?
Order! Order! The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this objection!
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains.
What's your point?
What do you mean? So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything. Objection! Yeah, such scientific reconstruction, right? It was the blue badger who murdered the victim! No way! Discord time. I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. See, this changes everything. Indeed, very well then, please tell us. What's the difference now that we know the witness saw this jar? Which one should I choose? The location, the murder weapon, or the murderer? The location! Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar. A very specific angle, I might add, Mr. Wright. Yes. Well, knowing this, where could she have seen this jar? The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. On the shelf, in the office of Damon Gantz.
Objection! The body was found lying near Lana Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself.
Objection! Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lana Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gantz's office.
Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body?
From Damon Gantz's office to Lana Sky's office? What nerd? What? Yes.
Why would he do that? There's no reason.
Exactly. If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason. How dare you imply that I'm implying something?
You know what that reason was, Mr. Wright?
Let me figure it out. This is why Lana tried to stop the trial. Too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife. In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew through the air. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
It would have to have been the impact the man made when he was knocked into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit? No, VTuber! You want me to bring Miss Lady up? I can bring Miss Lady up if you want me to. I'll take a little bit first. Are you guys feeling lonely without seeing my face?
Suit of armor! Holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword.
Yes. Since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall wielding the King Prosecutor's trophy. Your face is all over the screen! Astute observation. Okay, one moment. Okay, let's see if I can get this. set up. Setting up very quickly. Alright, nice. And then this one. Hey, can I appear? Wait a second, I'm small. I'm a small burb. wait. What if I go to the back? I can't see. There we go. Okay, I think that works. Okay. Would have had to been Neil Marshall when the prosecutor's trophy. Yes, a normal place to put the camera. So guys, now that we've progressed this far into the story, are you guys starting to get the picture now of what's going on here and why Lana has been so overprotective about making sure the case doesn't continue like this? Who's the one that how did whoever was there get pushed and got knocked into a spear? How could that have happened? No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking. You love that kind of looks like I'm looking at the game. Yes, there's another possibility of what actually transpired in that room. Another possibility? Of course, that perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless. I don't know if I can go through this. Mr. Wright, what's the matter? Events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. That moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Oh wow, they actually showed it. You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No! I don't know how to do that. I don't know what to do for that voice. Thud. Oh, she fainted again. Oh, well. Oh well. I never imagined her testimony would lead to this. So it was the witness who took the victim's life, then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented. Objection! What are you saying? Sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances, Joe Dark murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her? I'm having difficulty speaking. Imagine that coming from you. You recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it? I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I have no idea what you're talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall? Evidence? I'm willing to bet you don't. Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence. If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony. That's where the other piece of evidence comes in! I'm afraid that won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the incident are dead. Certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning. We do have evidence. Yes, we do. Touche, Miss Sky. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility. There's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. In one manner or another. That's impossible.
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message exist?
Got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name... Wait, hold on. Is in the evidence. This message from the deceased is already in our possession. Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer? Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek. Truth. No matter how painful it may be.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys a message from the deceased.
This is a message left by the deceased.
This is that blue badger from before, right?
Oh, is he just going to speak the killer's name? So, she is not happy.
That thing could, I'm sure it would.
Looks like everyone's forgot that this is just a jar. The blue badger did it! It all makes sense now. The message was left here on the surface of this jar.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood on this jar. Looks like someone wiped the blood away. All the pieces add up. Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments is not wiped away. Yes, there is a line here, drawn in blood.
So what you're saying
is these dots were once lines. Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message. One that someone apparently wiped away. The blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions. Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points. And the victim's message will become apparent. No. No.
Mr. Wright, what kind of message did the victim leave for us?
Your Honor, I believe that these bloodstains will reveal us the answer. Dots connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing the victim could have written given the circumstances. His murderer's name. What? So what? We're just going to... Wait, that doesn't look right. So, how does this help Emma's case at all? How does this help her case? I don't really know how this helps. It just proves even more that it was Emma. Defense attorney's duty to prove their client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this. Emma is the Blue Badger! Dun, 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 dun. So this is the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind.
All people. He may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life
was Emma Sky. What are they gonna do about that fact? What do they choose to do about that?
Seaworthy, can't say I didn't warn you.
You've got.
You understand the implications of what you've done?
What? What are you talking about?
2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you are the prosecutor in the case, were you not? You wanna punch his smug face? Just kidding. Yes, Worley, because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction. Objection!
Are you sure he was innocent though? But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
Oh. I'm afraid that's not important. Didn't you know we aren't the defenders of justice?
What?
We're merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, even if there wasn't any cover-up or evidence forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to death. How can you just stand there like it was an order? As you are, this is the murderer. He's the real murderer. Wait, but if Emma is the Blue Badger, and the Blue Badger was the murderer, then Emma is the murderer! The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. The real murderer is the friends we make along the way! Oh, I see. I see who it is, Miss Too Gory. I see. I understand now. Where the trial has headed, no one knows. To be continued! We will continue! We're not ending here! This car is so easily roused, yeah, really. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals! Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later. Oh, wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You've got a lot of nerve, pal! Making a detective run all around while on duty! To top it off, you call me here! I've seen happier people at funerals! I take it Lana's having you run errands again. Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here, he asked me to give this to you. There was a break in today's trial. Evidence law. Sheriff was talking about this just the other day. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? Seems so. Could at least study some evidence law, really. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. He said, if you're planning to take him on, you're going to need this book. Him. Guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. I like how it's so cute. There's a bird on it! Doesn't look like that book will be any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Taking on the Blue Badger. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth! Real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Sky found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now you're telling me you want to do more? Gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, Detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. Oop. He really stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. We must bring this case to an end! No more innocent people will be harmed.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Sky. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
The Inquiry Committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
All are guilty! Oh, so that's where we've gone to now. Everyone's guilty. Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness. But, this isn't easy to say. You see, there's some concern that you, Mr. Edgeworth, may have,
Struck a bargain.
You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
Blue Badger isn't the murderer, everyone is. There is no in-between.
I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking, and...
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
Solution?
That being the case, prosecution will allow the defense to call forth a further witness.
What? But there's no precedence for what you're proposing.
Stretchy! Oh, it's been a while since I've actually done a stretchy during stream. How about it, guys? You want to do a stretchy? I think it would be a good for us to take a stretchy. What do you think, guys? I'm gonna go take a stretchy. Ta-da. Stretch! Everyone stretch! If you aren't stretching, I'll make you look away from the screen a little bit. Here you go. Wait, let's do a little more. Stretchy! Up, down, touch the ground. In the moon, my food. And I up, down, touch the ground. In the moon, our food. Junkrat too. Okay, have you guys stretched yet? Oh, his trap is fine. Just look at the ground every once in a while. But, you know, some Junkrats kind of just walk in on you. And you don't necessarily want him to walk in on you. Walking in and then exploding your face with his mines. Okay. Okay, I think that's good. Alright. Okay, we're good. I think we're all good, right? Okay, I hope we're all good. Fantastic. You want to spin to win! Spin to win! Whoa! You don't want to look around, you want a tunnel vision on what enemy character. I see how it is. If you're gonna tunnel vision on anyone, tunnel vision on the Junkrat so you can watch where he puts his trap. There you go. There's your solution.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable! Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well, the defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright.
You do realize this is your last chance? If you call the wrong witness,
this trial is as good as over. Defense calls. It's time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. This guy! Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand.
Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything?
As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. A real murder has got you. Was Gumpy even working with the Force back then? Maybe he was. Maybe with Edgeworth. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, you should still be in the courthouse. You would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. No one is above the law, Mr. Gant. Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? Yeah, I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. So, he wants to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gant, so the court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto, was with the grim face.
First, let's clear up this SL9 incident.
Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already.
There are still some things unaccounted for.
Oh, like what?
Like the role you played in all of this. Oh, it doesn't.
Son, you're very brave or very foolish. You are aware, of course, that the police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Sure, take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. What? Why? That's dumb. What?
So corrupt.
This is so dumb. It's so corrupt. Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks.
Just watch it for the sake of it.
Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony.
SL9 incident.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. Is that when Dark was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor, unconscious.
Ouch.
When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. I see. Everything seems pretty clear-cut.
The police chief has the right to refuse to testify, and I'd better hit him hard and fast on the head, in the face. Alright, go for it, Tori. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day.
Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his reward, Neil was all fired up too.
It's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that.
Was defendant Lana Sky also present in the room?
Okay.
I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either.
So the two of you ran immediately after him, right?
That's right, but Dark made to the elevator first. So Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky.
But
What's this about a power outage? Oh, that! The elevator stopped all of a sudden. I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. It's not funny. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Can you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Rick was also lying collapsed on the floor? Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those two poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, she must have already known what her sister had done. Oh. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. How can you know that? Because of the victim's body. It had already been moved. So that means... You found the body near Lana's desk? That's right. I think you said earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the prosecutor? Yes. Anyway... As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable, no matter the circumstances. Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you better be staring off at the court record. Worthy, always the smooth talker. Which piece of evidence ties Gann to the forgery? Lana did admit to forging evidence. That truth can't be the whole truth. Now I've got to link Gann to the incident. Easy! We actually have two pieces of evidence we could present here. In this situation. Now, which one do we present? I guess we would be presenting this one. If we really had nothing to do with the forgery. The lawyer badge. How do you explain this? What's that? And what's that on a handprint? What's that on it? A handprint? Chief Gann, your explanation, please. I don't know, you tell me, son. Huh? My dear Righto, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Oh, not this again, evidence law. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Tell me, how is that rag irrelevant to this trial? It appears the defense was not prepared. It's too early to use this piece of evidence. Please accept the profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance? Well, okay, I'll do it just once, but only because you asked, Reggie. Thank you. I assure you the defense is terribly sorry. Yeah, sorry I didn't nail you. Okay. Let's try this one then. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself? Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list for example. That's the list Emma Sky drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? Oh, I guess we had 3 pieces. Okay, no, it was the... There's also that jar. Yeah, so I guess there were 3 pieces. See, Chief Gann, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Chief Gann, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery? Who, me? What do you mean, you?
Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work.
Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
Gumshoe did the murder and the forgery!
Oh dear.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put 2 and 2 together.
Well, let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. Do you understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Oh. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. Alright, Aji. In return, though. I know, that place, right?
Huh? What are these guys? Telepathic? Alright. I did not! I appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations.
Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that.
What? I'll have you know, back in the day I once broke into a cattle ranch and...
Mr. Wright, what are you saying? Anyway, you can't prove when you didn't carry the evidence.
You have proof to the contrary. You're going to need it later.
Later? What are you talking about?
What else? I'm talking about when Righto's prints are found. Yes. If they're found inside my safe, they would prove his investigation was illegal. Never faced anyone as slimy as this guy.
Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered.
What do you mean by that? Oops.
This is all purely hypothetical, of course, but suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
Concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery?
I'm not through speaking yet, Righto.
All depends on when the evidence was discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. You saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced.
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient, right?
The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time.
Tell me something I don't know.
Come now, Righto, think about it. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery.
How can you look me in the eye and say that?
Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? Not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Really, Chief Gant? Oops. At the very least, there is one very large benefit you reaped from all of this.
Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would of course be the position you have, Chief of Police.
Oh!
Resolution of this SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh! 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 That's a good one! Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. Is that true, it's Ruth? Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway. Careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. You didn't do it for yourself, and you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Aji, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little? By all means, please do. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? You think I felt sorry for her? You'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh! That's a good one, Worthy! Oh, that's a good one. There have been something in it for him. In his selfishness. Would he have helped someone else? Possibly? Sure, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Right. It appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean.
Very well then. Who is this person you believe Chief Gant may have helped forge evidence?
This one!
Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky, the defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Lana Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would also have a reason to help Lana if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean?
After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Sky was appointed Chief Prosecutor at the Prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant.
What? How would he profit from all this?
He would be able to use the Chief Prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigation.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the Chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh wait, you must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. The motive? To appoint her as Chief Prosecutor so you could control her.
Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lana? Be quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant.
Afraid without any proof, all this amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. Chief Prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
Dun dun dun. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency to accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. That's impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edwards said in easier to understand language. It's too late, Mr. Wright. There's no turning back for us now. Looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Let's do it!
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder?
Question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man.
Question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. Alright then. Let's see what Mr. Wright's got, and it better be good.
Uh-oh.
Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
I wonder what that could be. Oh, ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. This one, perhaps?
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 7777777.
Sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number.
It's your number.
What? How do you know that?
Safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. 7-digit code.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 7777777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say?
Nothing.
The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations.
I will demand Mr. Wrights to be punished to the maximum extent of the law.
But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me. When you entered the room, were you alone?
I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
If Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
Hadn't seen him in days? You can't. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime. Then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence.
Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Huh? Huh? Is it this one? That doesn't make sense. Huh? What can I use? I don't know. Proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. What proof? This one? Ah. You're rushing your now, you're playing Satisfactory. What can I use as evidence to prove that he met with Detective Goodman? Not in the SL9 incident, but in the present day case. Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have to give that report to the Chief of Police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it? How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence from that day. Needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form from you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him? There's no other way that the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Hold on, let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the Chief of Police, murdered poor Goodman? Exactly. But wait! The Chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. You showed us your ID card earlier. You had really lent it to Detective Goodman. It would have been found on his body. No! Chief Gant, you did it! The murder was most likely a spur-of-the-moment crime, for no one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body, of course. You're forgetting, Mr. Wright, that the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. Everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. No, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so.
You can't. You left all the evidence we need. Prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. All this time I thought I was just a useless clue just taking up space.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
Move the victim's body. Chief can't use this. Huh? Huh? The blue badger! Something we thought was a completely useless piece of evidence? What? I don't get it. The blue badger did it!
Well, I see. Maybe I'll use this later to move your dead body, Mr. Wright. Huh? And I'll help you dispose of it.
What? What piece of evidence? What is it talking about? The blue badger!
Oh man, it wasn't the blue badger.
What do I use? So it's not the blue badger. What did he use? What item is taking up space? Huh? What could it be?
What do you guys think?
You remember what it is? What is it? K trophy. Use the trophy? What? What do you mean? Huh? Not the trophy. Is it later? Because this has... So far, this has never come up. For like any reason ever, but for some reason it's in my evidence. I'm thinking this is the item that he used. It wasn't. It was in Gant's possession. What could he use this for? There's also the rag, but I don't think he would have used that. It seems highly unlikely. Well, we know what he used. How did he use it, though? This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? What does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, I think back to the day of the crime. What is a screwdriver doing here? It's here because... Oh, what? What's the problem? I was asked to go by Chief Gantz, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. It was the Blue Panther for the screwdriver in Gumshoe's office! We're playing Clue now. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office. But you did, because Chief Gant asked you to. You mean the body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car? I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. But I showed the picture of the car. That's what I thought I thought it was the car the whole time. But we had to use the screwdriver in order to show that Edgeworth's... Really? Right. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would he have asked Mr. Edgeworth to transport evidence from a closed case? There's only one possible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? Think back to the photograph Miss Sklar took at the prosecutor's office. This is not the photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. So I presented that photograph, but it didn't work? It has to be the screwdriver, really? Please say something. I believe. Your time's up. My time's up? Sorry, Rhino, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going, and we're going to make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. So you're going to just run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, I think I had Lana dispose of the body. So, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. David Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Oops.
Mr. Wright, Your Honor, do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body?
Do I have any concrete proof? It's no use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. No, Your Honor, at present I have no conclusive evidence.
See, Yachi? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
What?
Here's the tip, never gamble what you can't afford to lose, righto?
A trophy? If this ends the case, then I'll go back, because I have saved.
Lady Luck, maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. I haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. Lady who knows the truth. Another witness. In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony. Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. Still someone else, one more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room.
Mr. Edgeworth, who is this person?
Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
You may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth Lana Sky!
The defendant? Miss Lana Sky?
He was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 p.m. on February 21st. We finally get to talk to Lana! Her task to dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Edgeworth,
the prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now
Hold on!
What? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana.
He's talking to Lana.
I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claims, there will be terrible consequences.
That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. Of course, you never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about.
Alright then. I've got a lunch date to meet.
His eyes looked like the blue badger right there.
Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess.
Come on! More recess? I don't want a recess!
So we managed to stay in the game.
Yes, you're correct, Tori. Him and his accomplice. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
That chief! Something else, eh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Ah, don't worry, I've already decided where to work now. That's your office!
My office?
Sure! I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with.
You mean Maya?
Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again! How is it always he gets the upper hand?
Not fair, he has the right to refuse to testify.
Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said. Chief, that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Risks? What did he mean by that?
It's simple.
If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? He forfeits his right to say anything too!
Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the child from the gallery. She heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah. I finally know what really happened. I think all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. He did it all. Except me.
Ever since your appointment as chief prosecutor,
Everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders, you must have shut herself up deep inside. Force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. All because I murdered Marissa Marshall. Hey, don't go blame yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Blame society. Camp may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. We'll better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait here? No! I'm going with you. I'm stuck with this girl again. He's kidding. Let's be there. When Lana tells the truth. Let's go, right? It's time to end this. Yeah, she can just be there. She's allowed to just be there. Alright! That's it for today! Thanks so much for watching, everyone! That was a long one! Alright, thank you so much for watching! Happy April Fools, I guess. I know, we're gonna have to save this until next time! Hope to see you next time when we finally finish this, hopefully. I don't know if we'll finally be able to finish it. But yeah, you'll have to wait until next time! But thanks so much for watching! Yes, enjoy the googly eyes, everyone. If you play Overwatch, make sure to go play, because there are gonna be googly eyes on everything. Alright, every Thursday and Friday I stream. Happy April Fools! April Fools, I'm ending stream. April Fools! April Fools, I'm not actually ending. If you're not there already, head over to !Discord. Thank you, nerd, for doing it already. But not ending. But I have stuff I gotta do. Putting April Fools aside, I have things I gotta do. I'm also hungry. Now's the time I would eat dinner, so. Yeah, and I have to work out. You have a trial to finish. Okay, fine. April Fools, we're still going. Now then, will the defendant Miss Lana's guy please take the stand? For our peer pressure work. Miss Lana's guy, you are the chief prosecutor. We're so close to the end anyway, right? I hope. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Sky. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Oh, it just feels so sweet. Lana was doing all this to protect Emma. Oh, then your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Please tell the truth, Lana. I've worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to his blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. He's lying. Man, he's still lying. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Darkman convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing it to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. Alana! This is true. That means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. Sacrificing yourself because of me. What if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. But for lying! Burb check, everyone type exclamation mark burb! I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated evidence 2 years ago, all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Okay, I'm gonna save here. Can I just present evidence right away? Let's see if this works. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, we're gonna have to press then. We're gonna have to press. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it, period. So desperate to hide that fact? I'm willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying! She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. So she's determined to protect you to the end. And so she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. I have to get Lana to talk more. She's lying, but she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. She is a liar! How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then. That would be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
It must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why there's no truth to this blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. Still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago, all by myself. Do you do so to help your sister? Though Dark was a serial killer, my sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. She wasn't alone! What she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. He was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana.
But that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
When I found Miss Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. You saying you did this all by yourself? Yes.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Antitize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change his statement.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark?
Something like that.
That is so. What happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle.
Not how it went down. She tries to cover up her lies with more lies.
Just to protect me.
And when you found this scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body.
You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's wound? And then you moved the body?
Why are you guys so surprised?
Why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Mr. Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I have to ask for the sake of others.
Why did you do that? Oh no, Mr. Wright, even you should be able to figure it out.
Very well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Sky fabricated the knife.
I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof he needed.
According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right?
Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body.
So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound?
Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan.
Pieces of the jar?
You mean... yes.
That wretched jar you showed us earlier. The wretched jar, the blue badger.
In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Young Marshall was dead and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed.
I have a feeling there is more to it than that.
Must be contradictory.
What about the fact that it says Emma on the jar? There's the fact that Emma's name is on that jar. Can I present the dumb jar? What? How does it work? The thing is, Emma's name is written in blood on that jar. Emma's name in blood was written on the jar, but it broke. And he couldn't have written it on the jar if it was broken at the time, you know? What do I present here? Sleepy. Murderer who put the name, remember the right case, but the reason why I'm bringing up the jar is because of the fact that Emma's name written in blood is on the jar. And she claims that the jar broke during the tussle. So how did Emma's name written in blood, might I say, is on the jar, you know? It couldn't have been written when it was broken during the tussle. It couldn't have been written after the tussle either. So what? Did someone just like stab themselves and put their blood on the jar or something to write it?
Like, you know, it doesn't add up. There is an issue here with the jar, but you committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
I mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered.
If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. And so I am compelled to bring everyone's attention to a significant contradiction within your testimony. Contradiction in my testimony? Testified, and I quote, "The pieces of that jar that shattered during the events threatens my plan." That's right.
You have a problem with that?
It's a simple oversight, really. See, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. See? That's what I said! Couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
Order! Order!
Your Honor,
it would appear
more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message.
We may be missing something critical here.
Something critical.
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. Be safe, I wiped away the blood. Fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. So the jar was already broken? It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
Certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case.
Not as feeble as the judge's judgment.
You are an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No.
If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Hana, you do that for me?
Too easy to my makeup yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happens upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence.
You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
You really thought that Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall? You wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Anna? Oh! Make sure to drink water! Okay! Are you guys drinking water? This water is starting to taste like it's been here for a while. I know Galaxy needs to get fresh water. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. Fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. How could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. The detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. And now I always carry pocket lights and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go, because that makes sense. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene? Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated you so badly all this time. Not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. We got finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. One final possibility that might turn everything around. What? Okay, so... How does this fit into anything? He must have had a really oily hand, Emma. It's yours.
Okay.
Miss Sky explains 2 rules of evidence law. What could possibly... Oh, I could flip this. Yes, the blue badger. Maybe this one? Okay. The Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you are unaware of. What? You found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. The Chief's safe? But how? Knew it. You really didn't know. Something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was... still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece of evidence after your last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. What is in her hand?
Couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
It may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures! They were in my mouth all along! Can you believe that? Yes. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that!
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Miss Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar?
Question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us?
Yeah, right, Tori? Yeah, no!
Why is he even freaking out? Because Chief Gant is totally involved in this?
Wait, I'm not the one on trial here.
Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question? What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence.
Why would Chief Gant do that?
Mind what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the chief's puppet. Ow! Lana, your finger! No, I did it on my own. Hey sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies. Imagine that coming from my own client.
I guess you do seem the type who likes to twist your...
What? Excuse me? Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Something wrong, Mr. Wright?
Lana may be right after all.
What do you mean, right?
So, you do tell foul lies in Mr. Wright? Miss Sky, please specify once more. But evidence was fabricated behind your back, and Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. Oh! But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Sky, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. She's finally telling the truth! For you see, Mr. Wright, it was I who convinced the Blue Badger to murder so that it would be revealed that you are a liar! For you in your hands, hold the Blue Badger! It is the key to this case.
Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time.
Final time! Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found the Blue Badger in the middle of impaling Mr. Marshall on the suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. So I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. If it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. But it was all just... It was all just the Blue Badger after all. He hypnotized me. Made me think it was my sister.
Unbelievable! The body was impaled on the armor sword by the Blue Badger?
You were the only one who saw that. Only you had the proof. Though I think Wright has the proof of the Blue Badger. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? To me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered the Blue Badger. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Anna must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Yo! Oh, it's cute. Oh!
Oh!
Gasp! Wait! Hey, there's a picture here. Hold on a second. There's a thing missing here. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene? No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had arranged everything. Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest. Would that be cloth we found inside Chief Gan's safe? The cloth that we have never been able to use thus far! What's this? What's this? Is this the Blue Badger's handprint? It's a handprint, isn't it? That cloth? It had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? Those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. And as we know, Emma is the Blue Badger. It really is the Blue Badger. Actual crime scene. Hold it! What? Hold it. Hold it! Hold it! Come now, Edgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gan. What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. He refuses his right to testify, so he can no longer testify. That's right. That means you forfeited your right to make set statements of any sort. He's not happy! This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. GGG! GG! Go next! So you think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? Evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? It was the Blue Badger. No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So what's your excuse, righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. This is true, Mr. Wright. Showing up evidence now. Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Because she is the murderer! Because she's the Blue Badger! What do I do now? You gotta bring to light what the Blue Badger did. Show it! You have to show it. The Blue Badger cannot go unhurt. Cannot go on like this. That seemingly innocent little creature. In reality, he's just a creature of despair. Death. Demise. Destruction. Despair. Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence. Alright, time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the Chiefs. They're not the Chiefs, Emma! They're the Blue Badgers! Evidence shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. It's a piece of leather cloth? Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. Vest near his chest! Yeah, he's just trying to disguise his pure disgust on the inside. Remember those Blue Badgers' empty eyes staring back at you? That hatred you have for the Blue Badger? Well, its hatred is even greater. There's a big handprint on it!
Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword.
What?
What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Raito has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they?
Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies. What? They're mine? So I really did do it.
See, I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that?
But...
Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. Shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death.
No.
It appears we have our killer. No! Well, I mean, it was the Blue Badger!
Stop. I know.
Guilty! We lose! It was the Blue Badger! Is it this one? Cannot show evidence. Okay. The Blue Badger's metagame is too strong. If we show evidence that's the Blue Badger, he'll force the game to end. His power is too immeasurable. No, she was found guilty because the trial is on the case for Detective Goodman. So technically this court trial is about the case of the death of Detective Goodman, who Lana is the defendant for. So she is the one who's technically still on trial at the time, right now. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. What? You lie? Chief Guard, you opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey!
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest. Notice anything odd about that chest area? Looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. He does know about the cloth, because he's probably the one that planted that handprint on it. He is so dumb. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Raito. Gant, you're the one that incriminated yourself. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened! What? You mean you admit to it? I thought he's not allowed to testify. I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her.
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask for my aid. So you assisted Miss Guy. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you.
2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why?
For insurance, of course. Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for the murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? Do you take me for a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Ha ha ha! Some people just don't know what to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it, then you can't. You were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe.
Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have you have to do that being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Ryo. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Alright, let's try it this time. I do have evidence to present now.
Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. Evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh yes, at least you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. It must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
You mean,
it could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy.
What?
Think about it. Righto had all this time to present this evidence.
If he was reluctant to do so, why would that be? You already knew? You know whose fingerprints are on that?
Mr. Wright, do you really know? Whoever's fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well, I'll tell you. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person to whom these fingerprints belong to is...
Emma Sky?
What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? The Blue Badger! I mean, the Blue Badger! Why didn't you tell me it was the Blue Badger? Why didn't you tell me I was the Blue Badger? I'm sorry, Emma. You're too far gone. I can't help you.
Oh, you're really something, Righto! You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did show Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
Hold it! How could you monster!
Miss Sky.
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like you really didn't.
More.
Nip. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet.
Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter, cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, but what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was a Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? Talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. White, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Yeah, it was the Blue Badger, we got it, we got this. The Blue Badger's not getting away this time. Chief Gant, your tyrannical, Blue Badger, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, a piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Wait, what contradicts the cloth? The Blue Badger! The lawyer badge! Wait. What contradicts it? I don't even know how to use this. Blood. 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 Oh, blood! And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is a picture of Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth? There's no blood. We've got you now, Blue Badger. There's no blood on it. Ah! Since Emma Sky's since the Blue Badger's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that okay, never mind. There's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gantz, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. So then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And made Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that the Blue Badger was the actual murderer! No! It's finally all over. Objection! Why don't you almost had me? Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean to refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is the legal evidence. Order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict the suspect. Remember, gee! Only your old rhino here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Rhino? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence!
But that's not fair!
Ooh, did you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Kent's claim is legally correct.
Really?
Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True, legal evidence cannot be used to convict the person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright?
Seems at last. Time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it?
Let me save.
Oops, no, don't leave! Did you purposely and illegally conceal this piece of cloth?
I did not. I admit, I refused to present it at one point.
Aha! So the evidence is illegal!
Objection!
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
No, Auntie, don't listen to his lies! He's nothing but a coward! You can't really believe— Objection! There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is the evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. You can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Because I'm a defense attorney! It seems your very existence is illegal. You've lost it right at this time. I thought you were using the chief's knowledge of the law to— Okay, hold on. I have to present the book, don't I? You know that the 90s CD-ROM games? The lightning sound, or the thunder, I should say. I probably have to present this, don't I?
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief.
I mean, since this morning I did.
Indeed, this guy's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law.
Oop. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department.
Rule 2. Registered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial.
And here's the crux of the matter. See, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? What relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and— Objection!
Sorry, but can you recall when was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No.
He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
The person who gave it value as evidence was you, David Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest?
Oh, yes! No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, as the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moment. In other words, the real murderer.
And there's only one person who that could be.
Damon Gant! You are the Blue Badger! I know I should have gotten rid of him. That good for nothing scum. For 2 years he's been stooping around in the apartment trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. He left me in the evidence room, sitting there, to be broken apart and put together by that crummy Detective Gumshoe's hands. I wanted to get him out of the way. That's why I left him out of investigations. But yet, you... That's... that sheriff... that sheriff... His concealment, his crime over at the evidence room connected me, the Blue Badger. You wanted to reinvestigate the case. You recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yeah, that's right. The evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you've got to help me. I need to convict the Blue Badger. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. And then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? Can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. You open this evidence locker. See what's taking the evidence out, he said. It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall. Well, to be honest, I was taken aback. I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. That cursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake. I ended up locking myself into the evidence room, so I had to stand there and get videotape. Blocking the marshal from hurting that other police officer again. I forgot his name, the one with the hand. The bloody handprints on the Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. You put the body in my car? I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Ugh. Leaving the prosecution's car aside. How? How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So he took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker.
I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take.
So, you left the jar fragments and the glove.
Yeah.
Looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer.
They all did their best to get in my way.
Got to hand it to them.
They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination.
You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court?
Like this entire time that he's talking, I'm just imagining the blue badger as his face. Imagining all the handiwork that they've done to the blue badger, messed him up in more ways than one. Detective Gumshoe's hands messing up his paint job.
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. The same.
One day you'll understand.
Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
After all, you're stuck with Detective Gumshoe, after all.
Well, good luck. Looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, a G? What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend! I'm sorry too, Blue Badger. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others in the force. Charismatic, always happy, dancing. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Edgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine! Now you have Rido here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of the new beginning! Okay. There are two things I want you to understand. Your blueness has faded and your badgerness increased. Yes. First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, the Blue Badger betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silence. You're right. You're so right, Mr. Wren. The Blue Badger is ugly! When this trial's over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had the Badger help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My. High standards you have. For a rookie. These people keep calling me a rookie, yet I stood up to Von Karma, I stood up to Edgeworth, and I stood up to Damon Gant, and I stood up to Blue Core. Excuse me, are you sure you can call me a rookie still? I've beaten up these people with more experience that were beaten by them. I'm a better defense attorney than these guys with experience. And lost against these prosecutors that I beat. I ain't a rookie! You take that back. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. I'm already on top! I beat the best prosecutors. If the best prosecutors can't beat me, then who? Then who could beat me? Are you sure I'm not at the top already? Smile! I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And you too, Mr. Edgeworth.
You suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
It was nothing.
I was worried the pressure might break you, and yet, it was above it all, and you guided Mr. Right to victory. Done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Burb check, everyone! Time! Exclamation mark burb! We'll get our final burbs in before we conclude this trial. This case.
Stop it! I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems that good self-examining is in order for all of us.
Exclamation mark blue badger!
The sky.
Yes, Your Honor?
You are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. Trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free. It's heavy chains. Becoming a slave to the Blue Badger. It has been a treacherous, despairing journey. I'm so happy to be free.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds defendants Miss Lana Sky not guilty!
Confetti in the courtroom! Woo!
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Long last, it's finally over.
Emma?
What? Why the long face? Being the Blue Badger's puppet has taken a toll on you, even though you being the Blue Badger's puppet has taken a toll on my mental illness. And though I face life in prison, I can finally be free from this grasp. Thank you, Phoenix Wright Ricky. Mia really raised you well. I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. It's now after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well. You know, I did my best too. And Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupted anything, pals.
He always comes in like this. It's pretty great.
Oh, guess I am.
Hey, Gumshoe, thanks so much for making the Blue Badger hate his life. You're the key character to this whole case, Gumshoe.
I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making Detective run all around while on duty.
Gumshoe is the protagonist.
And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, line it up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana?
Should you be doing this?
Still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Emma, I owe you an apology. Okay, sis, don't worry about it.
The Red Badger. The Red Badger!
Gumshoe's protagonist because leaving a video with no one much. You're the prime suspect of being the Big Badger! That day 2 years ago. It was the first time in my life I ever panicked. That's all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. The Badger clan has grown at an enormous rate in this town. It must be stopped. We've already gotten rid of the blue badger. There's still more to go. Yes, we need to get rid of this badger here. Which color? Is she the pink badger? Wait, who's the red badger? Who's the pink badger? Time to call pest control. This. I asked Leon to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. Emma's the pink badger, and who's the red one? And now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way. Wait, Maya's the red badger? Valkar's black badger? I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting. From having to look after you, Pink Badger. So I had to. I had to be under the rule of the Blue Badger. I needed to distance myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. I was scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. I needed to get away from you. You're hiding what I believed to be the truth. I was deceived by you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. That's reality. The Blue Badger was even worse than you. But sis, you don't have to say that. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day I wouldn't have to have you treating me like a dumb little sister all this time. I was so sick of having you around. I was finally free of you. I was elated. I don't have to deal with you anymore. I got to give you away to the Blue Badger. It's okay. Oh, Emma. I mean, oh, Pink Badger. Pink Badger. I missed you, Pink Badger. Compared to the Blue Badger. But I'm glad that now we are mutually parted from each other. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? As in so doing. Phoenix, we don't care about your whole monologue here. No one cares. We're just happy that Lana is finally free from the Pink and Blue Badgers. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. Now that we've removed the sky-colored badger. At least that's what I felt, watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding, come over here. Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Edgeworth the Green Badger! Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. You were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Not only that, but I don't trust myself anymore. Chief Kanto's right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
Phoenix and the Badger Repellent.
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. In order to fight crime on my own, I needed a weapon. I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like a Blue Badger did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as the Green Badger.
The Green Badger, don't you understand? Blue Badger and your mentor, Black Badger, were both the worst of the worst when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You are working together with the Badger Repellents. Because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Badger Repellent?
Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Badger Repellent, show him what Lon is talking about!
Evidence, something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. This one? Oh no! Which one do I present? Is it this one? Or is it this one? Hello, you're that! Oh no, which one do I present? Oh no! What do I present? The trial thing? Trial thing. What do you mean trial thing? This trial thing? Blue Badger and Stabby Stab? What? I don't know what you mean by that. The Blue Badger! Something neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. The paper with the blue badge. Wait, really? I guess so. I mean, the other half of it was with him. That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. He had one half of the evidence list and I had the other. The part we couldn't have been able to completely restore on this picture. I mean, the Pink Badger's picture.
That didn't just happen by chance, Green Badger.
It's time for me to go.
Green Badger?
If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care. Chief Prosecutor. Green Badger, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, you can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you, whether you want to stay the Green Badger or not. I know. Seems I owe you my thanks too, Badger Repellent. But what I face now is my problem.
Badger, I'll be waiting for you in court.
Farewell.
I'd better be going too.
Okay. But I'll be back to visit soon. No, please do not visit. Seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Tori. Here, this is a little something for you. Oh, it's another bird book. Oh, it's so cute. She's gonna get to one of them. Oh, thank you. It's scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Studied well. Thanks, sis. I will. Oh, so sweet! And so another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And the badgers. As for me, I will continue my journey to fight the badgers. New journey has begun. Conquering the blue badger was only the starting point. The journey to rediscover myself. Realize I am the chief badger repellent. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, maybe okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Badger Sandals reunites, continuing the quest to control the city. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Badger Repellent here is the one who'd be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Huh? I'm only a poor main protagonist. Thank you, Badger Repellent. You're the best. Why is it you like me, Pink Badger? I'm your Badger Repellent. I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go! Objection! I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. I hope she'd be pleased to study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. So I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Aww! That's so sweet! Okay. Ooh, excuse me. Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show. Can't shake me off that easily. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show them though. Someday I'm going to make detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like that Dickum show. I'll get to my revenge on you one day. One day for sure. But first I need to fix my back. Just don't let Gumsha do it. GG's everyone! We have completed the first game of Ace Attorney's trilogy.
What is it? Can't you see I'm having mistakes on the cycles? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. Seeing one of the guards, it seems. Oh, cowboy, it looks like you did it. Even gave Bambino back her smile. Need to make sure Billy and the gang get the water.
Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while. As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu. Right away lunch. Oh, gross. The top layer tastes a bit bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. I seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards.
I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left? Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another child to get to, so I better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel! Sorry, gotta go.
Look at that ugly chair. We got to see it up close this time. If you're not there already, head over to !Discord, or actually it's already in the chat right now. Healing Beacon Discord server. Maya! Nothing suits the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection, so I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium.
Mystic Maya! Afternoon training is about to begin!
Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Maya! Maya, the one who somehow is slightly more useful than Emma. They're both pretty useless, but Maya's just slightly less useless than Emma.
Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, I brought you your tea. What's going on?
What is going on?
Oh?
What is going on? Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Oh!
Aww! What a sweet picture. Oh, that's so sweet. Achievement unlocked! Rise from the ashes! A phoenix! Right. Okay, that's enough of that. Yay! GG's! Alright, thanks for watching, everyone! Happy April Fools, I guess. GG! Easy. We vanquished the Blue Badger. Alright, love you guys. See you next week.
And make sure to go to the Discord server and just pay attention to the Discord server because I am planning to do something for the birthday month celebration. Alright? And don't worry, everything will go back to normal soon enough, alright? Alright, bye-bye everyone! GG's! Wait a second, hold on, I need to switch something. I need to change something, hold on. Oh, wait, not that. Okay. Uh-oh. Not Pikachu. Ace Attorney. Here, we'll go to this overlay. Ace Attorney. Okay, bye-bye everyone! Love you!